Mm. good evening, and welcome to the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. We are so excited to be back again on this Monday evening, and we are going to get started the way we normally start by introducing ourselves and saying what we are grateful for. So, I guess I'll start since I'm already talking. My name is Theodore Carter. I am a certified life and career coach, as well as an HR consultant. And I am passionate about helping women live life with courage, clarity, and intention to achieve the life that they desire to have. And I am grateful for another opportunity to be here, to be able to share. And I'm actually thankful that Trey, the founder of this network, this YouTube network, this channel, trust me with this responsibility with her baby, right? To be here to you know guide conversations, to share with other women. And so I'm grateful that she saw something in me that I probably didn't even see in myself, that she trusts me with this opportunity. What say ye?
Okay. Hello. Good evening. My name is Regina Booker, the owner of Season and Fabulous, where we help women get unstuck or just when they're at that fork in the road, career changes, life changes, whatever your kids are growing up, you're becoming an empty nester, or your career, you might want to explore your desires, your dreams, your talents, whatever. So it's never too late for any of that, no matter what. So that is what Season and Fabulous is about. But not a but, sorry. I am grateful for just, I think I'm going to piggyback off of Theo, like our Trey entrusting us with this, because we really was like, what are we gonna do? But it's become part of us, and we like it. We love it. So
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the opportunity again to be beyond what I saw in myself or ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for saying that, Theo.
And that actually goes along with the topic for tonight, right? Which is becoming someone you never imagined, right? And so I thought
Mhm.
it would be interesting to talk about, um, just who we are now, where we are now. I think for me, because I've been behind the scenes working on a program that really helps women identify like where they are now, right? Why they're in the space that they are in now, and then how do they move forward. That it got me thinking about this topic. And so one of the first things I want to explore is, if the younger version of you could see your life today, what do you think would surprise her the most?
Mm, Probably how outgoing I am.
Hmm.
Because as a child, within my mind, I didn't talk about it, but I wanted to do so much. But I was kind of shy, so I didn't speak on what I do. And then also, as I'm older right now, I still don't really speak about what I do, but I do it. I've done it. So I never thought that I would do things.
Mhm.
Um, I thought they would just be something in my mind, and just imagine like what it would be like. So to see me actually doing these things and coming out of my comfort zone, little slowly but surely, I'm coming out. Yeah, that's it. Like I would never imagine the things that I've done because I was just so quiet, and to the point that when people got in trouble in school, they had the parent night.
Mm-hmm.
My parents would come home and I would get in trouble for not talking. Who gets in trouble for not talking? I your teachers, like they say, you're a good student, you do your work, but you don't talk. You just don't say anything. You gotta say. So that's how it was. So
Yeah. Wow. That is something because if you think about it, right? You you said you were quiet, right? And somewhat shy, and now
mhm.
you are like this woman who has written a book. You do dance ministry in front of tons of people,
People,
right?
right?
Right. And so it is kind of crazy, um, and I think even from when we first met, right, I have seen how you have like kind of come out of your shell, right?
hmm
Like, so that is pretty cool. So I guess I got to answer the question as well. Um, I think, I think for me, I, I don't know that I would have ever imagined that I would have been this young lady or girl who um, actually had such a successful career in HR, right? To grow
Mhm.
right from to the level of even being in an executive position to then go to being an entrepreneur, right? And authoring books, right? Being a published author, right? And so I think if I were, now that person, I would be thinking, wow, right? This is something that because like you, although I'm more naturally introverted, I think as I started to embrace HR and recognize that I wanted to move up in HR, I had to become extroverted, if that makes sense. Like I had to learn
Mhm.
how to start
Mhm.
speaking in front of people, right? Being presenting and being that person that because I've always been very comfortable leading from behind, right? Like I could tell
Mhm.
do execute whatever, but I never was one that needed to be out front, right? And so, you
Mhm.
know, to me, it's just amazing, even in that space that I'm even doing this, right? Because I used to be the person, sure, I run the background for you, but I really don't need to be in front of the camera, right?
Mhm.
so, so I think for me, answering that question, that would probably be something that I never imagined myself doing, being like a little more outgoing than I usually am, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think we both pull from that because we both are background people.
Exactly. Like we be like, what do you need done? Like I'm the person that like at
Yep.
every event or whatever, I'm gonna help you clean up. I'm gonna stay behind. Like I don't need to be out front. I don't need the mic,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
It's funny because I always laugh with my friends too. Like they'll be like, "Oh, let's go do karaoke," and I'll be like, "I only do karaoke when I'm in another country, right?" Like, wait,
Right.
wait a minute.
Right.
Like,
Nobody
no,
knows you.
so to be even here talking, and it's funny that we're even having this conversation because I think one of the blocks that I have had that I've been working on is even, and we talked about this, right? um the Instagram, right, being live on there,
Mhm.
and we've talked about, okay, how about we do it together, right? So even that, like I think for me, just being here right now talking to you on this platform, for me is something that I would probably be surprised about, right? I'm
Mhm.
the kid
Mhm.
that always was somewhere with a book reading,
Right.
right? So yeah. So what is something that you are doing now that other than this, because we already talked about this is something you wouldn't expect. What is something you're doing now that you never imagined for yourself?
The dance ministry, I never
Mm-hmm.
imagined, because I used to be when I was a little girl, I always wanted to go to the ballet, not go to dance, be a ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like shy, so I didn't want to tell my mom. So I would be in my room, and when some type of dance thing would come on, I don't know what I would see something that I just remember as I would turn on the TV and it would be something, maybe it's gymnastics or whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be dancing like a ballerina. And then sometimes without the TV, I'd have my door closed and I would just be in my room dancing like a ballerina. But I never told anyone. Had I told my
Mm-hmm.
mom, she would have gave me ballet lessons. But like those are things that I kept to myself, and I kept a lot of things to myself, and only girl. And I kind of had these imaginary friends, and I would talk to them because I didn't have, I didn't talk to my brother because they were boys. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not crazy, but that was just my those were my
Mm-hmm.
friends. And the funny thing about it, my grandson one day he was talking. I said, "Who are you talking to?" And he said, "My imaginary friend." I said, "What?" And he was confident. He said, "I always talk to them." I said, "Wow." I thought about it. I said, "I had it, but I never let nobody know I had them because I
Mm-hmm.
thought, it was crazy, and somebody would think I was crazy." So,
But I think we all, right, at some point probably even, and I would say even now, right? Now it's probably we more or less talk to God. But I think at those
mhm,
ages where you felt like, okay, especially like for me being the youngest, right? And my siblings so much older than
mhm,
me, often playing by myself,
mhm,
right? So your dolls or whatever become your
mhm.
friends.
Yeah,
So you learn how to
right.
start having those conversations,
Mhm,
right? But it's
yeah.
interesting that your grandson even felt comfortable saying it.
Mhm. And it was like no shame in his game. I was like, I would never tell him.
You was like, I would
And I
never
said,
do that.
yeah, but but he is the only child. So maybe, and then he doesn't interact with kids per se, just school. And
Hmm.
you come home, you don't have anybody, and he's too young to have a phone to, call his friends. So I guess it's
Okay.
kind of okay because he doesn't have anyone else to talk to. So
That's his
I
outlet.
thought about it like that. Yeah. So.
That's his outlet. So it is
Mhm.
there what at what point did you realize that you grew or were growing or evolving into someone new?
Really, when we started this process, not only the
Mm,
show, but when we started the whole beauty flies and the different things. I mean, I was always evolving,
mhm,
but I took notice to it when we had our group, and from there, I've seen the different in Trey, thanks to Trey pushing us. It
mhm.
just I saw it,
Yeah.
and I see it now. And I think as we get older, we do see and we speak out more, and we stand for what we stand for, because with all our lives we've been the corporate, the mother, the this, the that. And
Mhm,
now it's like it's our time. So you stand on what you believe in or what you want to do or whatever the case may be, and you can't be moved. If you're
mhm,
if and along with that, you have to do the work to get there. So doesn't come overnight, but
mhm.
that's when
Yeah,
I
it's
saw it
true.
really.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like when you mention, um the things, right, that the labels that we attach to
Mhm,
ourselves. I honestly do feel like you said, I really started seeing myself growing into someone new, and I was going through that healing journey, right? When I when I decided that I was going to invest in myself, right? And not only just go to therapy, right, which was paid for by my insurance, but invest in a coach, right? And through those two processes of therapy and coaching is when I really went into therapy differently, right? Like I had did it back in my 20s, but I think at the point that I went into it later in my life, in like my 50s, right? I went in with the intention of figuring out me. And so it was there when I realized that I was hiding behind all of these titles, right? Like being this HR professional that was excelling in our field, being, the daughter or the niece or the friend or like all of these titles, the different ministries you're on at church, all of these titles and assignments that you attach to yourself that you begin to embody as who you are. And I think when I literally said to myself when I went into therapy, I was like, you know what? I wanted to heal differently, right? And I wanted to come out of the healing process, recognizing what part of where I was in life at that point did my choices, my behaviors, my habits, right, contribute to the space that I was in. And so for me, I think that's when I really started to see the growth in me. And then when I started saying, okay, when I said yes to writing that first book, without and then second guess myself, like, why did you say yes? But still going through with it, I think that's when I began to really say, oh, you are really growing into someone who is definitely living authentically and unapologetically who you are without all of these labels and titles and things.
Right.
Who you are.
Yep, so, absolutely.
Yeah. So that has been a journey for me. And the great thing is, like you just said, right? It was work. And the crazy thing is it continues to be work because we're still working on ourselves, right? Like even at big old ages that we are. Yeah.
Yep.
Like we literally are still working on
ourselves. And I'll be turning the corner again on Sunday around the sun, what's it called? Around the sun again.
Oh yeah, when's your birthday?
My birthday. Sunday. Next Sunday,
So the 23rd.
Oh, another year around the sun. 22nd.
Okay. So your birthday is the 22nd. Oh, okay. And you're gonna be how old? You said? You said 65.
I'm going to be 67. 67.
Come on, I feel like you just turned 65 or 64, but
I know everyone keeps getting stuck on that 65, even me, because now I have to say, how old am I? How old? And I have to count the years. I'm like,
yeah. So
because it doesn't feel like that. It does not feel like that.
Yeah. And is that because you're doing? Is that because instead of slowing down, you're like you're doing new stuff? Like, because when did your book come out? Towards last year, right? Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Right. And so at 66, you wrote a book. At 67, you're contemplating writing the part 2 of the book, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'm contemplating. It's gonna get done. It's just that now I gotta do the time management because I'm doing so much more. And with my dance ministry, we are being elevated to higher levels that we are starting to travel. So
wow,
that in itself is. And you came to the event. So the lady that spoke the Friday night, we danced at her what's her thing is called Power to Live.
Oh, okay.
So that's in Texas. I think she mentioned it. And then another thing we do It's called Mantle, and that's in Florida. And we've been asked to participate to do both of those. And so now those are going to, along with our conference that we do every year. So those are three things that we basically are on these people's calendar to do.
Wow.
Well, two, including ours. And now with ours, we're traveling. So now it's a traveling ministry. So it's like, now that I should have spoke about. Because traveling, and then I would have never, ever thought that I would, because I've never been that person that wanted to be. Now, this is not being a star. It's not. But it's more like public speaking or traveling with. Now, I don't mind. I love to encourage women and things like that. But I was thinking of it just where I am, the city that I'm in, or like my retreats. We go to a retreat, but that's just a retreat. It's not like going to be in front of a stage, and it's going to be intimate.
Yeah.
But then you never know. Even with that could grow, because the one that you're involved in with was the prayer, women pray, or what is it that you do?
Oh, girlfriends pray.
Didn't you girlfriends pray? Didn't you guys go on retreats, and then the young lady that's in charge of it is become a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it started out. Girlfriends Pray literally started out by DC Marshall. It started as women from our church, the church that we were going to at the time in Jersey, getting together over the Christmas, New Year's holiday to just pray for one another, right? And then once it ended, because of a testimony that somebody gave on it, the turned it into the Girlfriends Pray ministry. And oh my God, I want to say it's been like 16 years where I mean, and we walked, right? But yeah, because we went from just praying on the phone to having meetups, right? So we would have annual meetups. And then when COVID came, of course, it stopped. And we did a virtual thing. And now, you know, with all of the different prayer ministries that have you know, evolved, we've gone from 5 days a week, right, to 2 days a week. So we pray Monday and Friday. You know, it's usually from 7 to 7:15. It sometimes goes later. But the great thing about it is it also has, you know, the mission and the vision of that ministry was to bring women closer to God through prayer, and the vision of 1 million women around the world, right? And so, but it's crazy, because it is funny how things do evolve. And who knows, I would never imagine being a part of that, right? I would never imagine being someone that, you know, we have different intercessors, but there are times when I am one of the intercessors that's praying. I would have never imagined myself, right, being online, you know, praying for other people. I would never imagine myself praying out loud for other people, right? But that also came through growth through the magnificent church under Pastor DeForest B. Soaries, right? Where we had some ministers that were really great at helping you to uncover, right? And get out of that shell, and some really great Bible study classes. But like you said, like the more we talk, the more I think about, right, things that I would not have imagined myself doing, right? Like when I came to the conference and saw you dancing, I was like, wait a minute. Now I knew you said you danced, but I thought you would just be up there with flags. But you were like, I was like tired just watching you.
Truly the Holy Spirit, though. Truly the Holy Spirit. But that's how it is with it, because along with that, and we had to take this, you saw that I graduated as a prosthetic dancer. And honestly, when I started with my leader, and we kind of like, it was her vision and it was me. And I came from Jersey, and I came from a powerful dance ministry. And she was kind of just starting hers. And I gave her a lot of tips that she didn't know. And she took the tips but she was already grounded in it, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but it was things
Yeah.
that she was looking for, that the resources I had that she didn't know, and I was able to give her those resources, and she took off running with them. So with that being said, this is going into our 10th year. So I kept refusing stuff because she said, "You're gonna be," and her and another young lady that danced with us, they would just be pathetic and they'd be doing all this. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna dance, and you guys do that over there. I'm not, that's not me. And
Mhm.
they and I'm always denying something. And
Mhm.
through that, and God has worked on me, and I have become that. And that was something I was like, not that I didn't want to, I just didn't think I was able to do that. Like, who would want me to do that? Like, I don't have that type of,
Yeah.
spirituality, but everyone does.
Yeah.
And so from that, I've come to know. And so every time I go higher in the dance, it's really because I'm studying the word and we're praying, and we had to learn so much. I mean, when
Mm.
she said we was up at 12 midnight praying, I was like, oh Lord have mercy. Wake up. And she said, if I call at 3 a.m., I said, please, Lord, don't let her call.
But that is the discipline, right?
Yeah.
And doing the things that you have to do. But it's crazy because as you were talking, one of the things I was thinking about is like one of the questions I was going to ask is, and I think this probably plays into it, is right. Was there a fear or a doubt that you had to outgrow in order to um get to this point of doing the ministry and writing the book and being on this platform? And I'm gonna give you a minute to think about it while I just say to anyone who's joining now that this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network, and we are here tonight talking about becoming someone you never imagined. So I would also say to anyone that's listening, right, think about some of the questions and answers and conversation that we are having, to even think about that for yourself. What does it mean for you as you become someone that you never imagined? And so just to repeat the question, it's would you say that in the levels that you have gotten to now are because you outgrew some fear or doubt that you had?
I didn't outgrow it. I prayed about it and
Okay.
I fought through it.
Okay.
So, with prayer, because I couldn't outgrow it without God being a part of
Mm.
it. So praying and fasting and asking God um to help me, 'cause fear is it's something that I have to fight. I continue, it's like an addict. So
Mm.
that's my because I would never, because the fear is so deep in me
Mhm.
that I constantly have to fight fear. And you
Mm.
can overcome it, but it's something I have to constantly pray about and say I could do it, in the easiest ever since I was probably in my 20s. I've always had the scripture, we can do things through all things, we can
Yeah.
do all things through Christ that strengthen us. That's just
Mm.
one version. But that has constantly been what I say to myself. I say it to my kids because I had fear. And the funny part is that you know what it is, but you still fall into it. Like, I always
Mm.
knew it was fear, but it would be like I'll be stuck and I have to
Mm.
pray and fight my way out. So um that's just something that I just had to do. And sometimes it's scary because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be out there shaking. Like, I'll be dancing shaking, like really shaking, like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
But no one knows it, but
But I think that
then
is some.
once,
Go
and I
ahead.
was gonna say, but once the Holy Spirit takes over, and then once I get, and you in dance, you're praying and fasting, not fasting, but praying and speaking in your holy language at the same time. And that gets you through, because you can get stuck and you can get free. And I've
Mhm.
seen young women that we were, you saw the young girls. There was one young girl every
Yeah.
time we ministered, anxiety took over, and
Mm,
we had to like pray for 5 minutes, like she would just shake, and she knew it. She knew the dance. She did it just to get in front of those people.
mm.
Um, we were free, so it's a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because as you're talking, I'm thinking, right? First, I just want to say to everyone out here this a disclaimer. We are believers and we do not
Yeah.
hide from that, and we are not ashamed to share that. So, but I do want to say for anyone that's listening, don't let us being believers turn you off if you are not a believer, because whatever higher power, entity, thing that you believe in, you can just replace the language we use with that. But for us, you're going to hear us talk about praying and Christ and all of that because we are believers. And so, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, I do believe that, because there's, faith over fear, right? If you have faith, right, your faith trumps your fear, right? But it's not that easy. So, like you're saying,
Right.
a lot of times it's like you gotta push through it, knowing that you do have God behind you that is going to get you through it. But I think that just anybody that's listening, fear is a part of life, right? Fear is a part of life, and failing is a lot of life. And I think a lot of us have fear because we are afraid of failing, right? And if you can get past that fear of failing, you can also get past, that inability to do the thing you need to do to push through it. We, Regina and I, we trust God. So that is who helps us push through the fear. But even with that, we still have to be reminded that that's who we rely on.
Right.
Because your mind can, trick you into believing that you got to try to do this all by yourself, and you really don't, right? Because in our case, I would say we are manifestation of what God has done on earth, right? So he has put us together because we now help each other move past any fear, any doubt, anything that could possibly keep us bound, right? And so that's why I also think it is very important to have people in your circle who are like-minded, right? And who are gonna remind you who you are and what you're capable of.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So just you saying, I would say I watched you. I was like, wait a minute, I'm tired right about now. Just watching you and all of, like, watching everybody, but because I know you, right? It was a different experience because I'm thinking, wow, look at Regina move. Look at Regina in her zone. Look at, like, it was amazing. It really, truly was amazing. So, and also, I think it also helped me be like, wait a minute, Regina's out here dancing, right? So why am I apprehensive about doing X, Y, right? Why am I apprehensive about doing X, Y, Z? She out here dancing in front of all these people, and not every one of them that she knows, right? You know some of them, and now you're talking about traveling to go dance. Where they do that, right? Like, wow. So how do you feel that the growth and the woman that you are becoming and evolving into has affected the relationships around you? Do people respond differently to who you are now?
No, because they don't know.
Okay.
And when I tell them what I do, they're shocked and they're like, oh my God, why do you keep that to yourself? And then some of them, I could use this or I could do that. Matter of fact, on my prayer group at my church, the women's group that I'm in, I told them, the leader of our group, she saw me one Sunday, well, like the Sunday after, well, not that Sunday because that weekend, the following Sunday, and I was still tired because, like I said, that was the Holy Spirit. It was high level.
Mm-hmm.
That was high level.
Yeah.
So I noticed, even though I'm doing it, my body is telling me that, one, I need to work out more because I went that high up and my body was definitely not prepared for it, which that's one of the things that we learn. And when we rehearse, not learn, I noticed, but you know stuff and don't do it.
Yeah.
I knew for months I should have been training my body because it wouldn't have took me so long to the soreness and stuff. So she saw me and she said, I said, yeah, I had the dance thing. And she said, you didn't tell me, you didn't tell us, you didn't put it in the chat. I said, Sue came and this because one of the ladies from church, and she shocked me because you know how she knew? One, we had leader meeting and I had a flyer in my hand and I haven't handed it. Because I took the price with all intentions on giving it out. And she hit me at the right time, because had I put it in my purse, I would have forgot about the flyer.
Mm-hmm.
And she came. But that's because they don't know. So the reaction I get is like, oh my God, I would love to support you. So I get the opposite because I keep things to myself. Even though that I'm not shy to it, I don't speak on it. I think both of us talk about that, how we don't speak on the things we do.
Yeah, and you know what? And now that you're saying that, I'm like thinking to myself, right? It's something that I feel like we probably need to explore, right? Why is it that we don't share the things that we do, right?
Right.
You know, it's funny because it really is something that I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah, because you mentioned at your church, you mentioned the things you did and they were shocked. They actually, once they start knowing what you do, they put you on platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is funny because you start thinking about, right, like, why is it? I mean, I know for a fact, I don't know why it's now. I know in the past it really was because I didn't want to feel like I'm bragging, right? I'm being, boastful.
And that's how I felt too. Yeah.
Right. But now, as I've grown and I continue to evolve, and now I have my own business, right? It's like, it's not really bragging. Like, I will honestly tell you, it wasn't until I probably started going through my healing journey and working on myself and who I am and identity, where I was like, I would have never said I'm an expert in my field. I usually would just be like, yeah, I work in HR, I'm good at what I do, right? But now I'm like, you know what? No, I am, because people call me with questions.
Right.
Right? People value my guidance and opinion and advice, and people listen when I'm talking in that space. And so part of it was I had to recognize that the other side of it is I'm really confident. I always say to people like this, I'm really confident in my professional realm, right? But I think I've had to do more work on being as confident in my personal sphere.
Right.
And so I think that might also be something, and I don't know if it's true for you as well, but that might also be something that I probably need to work a little harder at for my business sphere. Right? Like, being in this vein of being an entrepreneur. Like, I started my business, like, I think it's like 5 years. I think it was October 2020, 2021, right? It's been at least 5 years, right? And so there's no reason for me to not be confident in what I'm doing, right? Because it's also, what I do is an extension of my professional life. I took the skills from my professional life and turned it into a business, and just went one step further and became a coach, right?
Right.
But as an HR professional, we're always coaching people, we're always mentoring people, right? Especially at the level that I was at. And so now that we're having this conversation, it really makes me think like, okay, so what has stopped you from, embracing, right? Who you are in this space, in all spaces, not just professional.
Probably me getting in the way of my own self. That's the only thing that's stopping me.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm being more open to it
Mhm.
because probably 2 years ago, I wouldn't have invited anyone to. I just going about, nobody would have knew. Because I'll say it in passing. Oh, I'm rehearsing. This is how I say it. Oh, we're getting ready for our conference, so I have to go rehearsals. I rehearse. I'm like, and I'll say, oh, I'll be so glad when rehearsals is over. So that's not telling anyone that you got it.
Because unless the person asks you what you're rehearsing for,
Yeah.
right?
And that's how I did it. But this year I did tell people, well, I told you, and I told, my coworker and a friend of mine who came. I didn't get to introduce you to her. She's
Mm-hmm.
one of the first work co-worker, and we became friends when I first moved here. We worked at this contracting job,
Mm-hmm.
and we just stayed in close ever since. I mean, we always check up on each other and things like that. So she happened to call me Friday night, or Friday morning, Saturday. So I gave her the information. I said, hey, I'm here getting ready for my conference. I said, why don't you come? I said, I know. I said, I should have reached out to you. I said, but if you're not doing anything, Sari, I'll give you the address. And she came and she was happy. And she's like, thank you so much for inviting me. I was like, I don't invite people. So I'm trying to be better at that. It's not that I'm trying to, it's just, I just don't do it. And I need to be better at it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, there's also feeling like you're inviting people to like making, you don't want people to feel obligated to come or something like that, or say yes. I don't know what it is, but I do, like, I'm glad you invited me. And then it's funny because one of my friends was like, hey, I want to go, and I'm like, okay, come. Right. So, but I do think it is crazy how you said, like, your first response was, I'm getting in my own way. Because I literally last Sunday said that to one of the associate pastor at my church. We were talking about something, and she was like, what do you want me to pray for you? And I said, pray that I get out of my own way. Right. So when you said that, I was like, it's so funny how we even are sometimes going through the same thing, or struggling, or pushing through the same thing. And if we don't, which is why I love this platform, right? I love this opportunity for us to come together and have real talk as real women about what we're going through in real time, right? Because now we both know, like, hey, maybe this is something we need to help each other with. Right. Getting out of our own way. Right. And so if you're tuning in, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And we're just having a real conversation about becoming someone that we never imagined, right? Like being a woman that we are today, that we could have never imagined, as we were journeying through life to this point, right? So, because I think sometimes we also let our choices and mistakes and things that go so well convince us that we're not able to do that thing that we have in our mind. And this is your brand, so I'll let you talk about it a little more than what I'm going to say. But I think we also get to a point in life where we're like, oh, I'm too old, or it's too late. And the one thing that we have learned is that it's never too late to do the thing that you desire to do if it aligns with what you are called to do.
Exactly. Yes, it's never too late. And I found that out in so many things. Like I'm doing so much more in my latter years
Mm-hmm.
now, you know, and I coming out of my shell, probably in my mid 50s, working on myself in my mid 50s, being able to produce things like my book. Well, I was in dance ministry for a long time, but leveling up in the dance ministry. Now I'm studying to be a coach. So
Wow.
so that's something, and I'm really looking forward to that. I really am. I can, you know how you can just see it? I can see
Yeah.
that. One of my ultimate goals is to have a resource building or service or place. I really want to own it. I don't even want to lease it.
Mm,
I want to own the building, a resource center for women. That is
mm,
my ultimate. And as I go through this journey of becoming a coach, I just see it. And what I do now, I ride around and I look at buildings and I'm like, would this be a good place for my building? Would this be a good place? So I'm putting that in the atmosphere,
yeah.
and I'm 67. So
Mm.
it's never too late. And I'm gonna get that building.
Yeah, you manifest it. I mean, but if you don't believe it and you don't see it, you can't achieve it,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
so, I mean, I think it's great that, at going into 67, you're not thinking, oh, I can't buy a building. I can't
Mhm.
start this resource center, right?
Mhm.
Because you could do anything that you
Mhm.
actually put your mind through, right?
Yep.
And then the scripture you quoted earlier is you can do anything through God, strength,
You do all
right?
things of God who strengthens me.
Right.
So
So, yeah.
it
Yeah.
just I have that hanging on my refrigerator and everywhere. Like every time I get upset, not upset or defeated per se, I just push through it. Even walking or whatever it is, I just know in my mind I could do all things with God that strengthens
Yeah.
me. And I
Yeah.
just keep that with me, you know, and then He can give me wisdom. Like there are some things that I'm not supposed to do, and that's another thing. You're
Yeah.
not supposed to do everything. You need to do what God's will is for
Mhm.
you, and what who you're here to help, and everything is not for you. That's another thing you have to learn, and that's part of becoming the
Yeah.
woman that you are. Because there was times I think all of us, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, I go over here and do it, but everything is not for me.
Nope.
So you have to learn
Everything is
what's
not
for
for
you.
you. Everything is
Mhm.
not for you. And
Mhm.
everybody can't come and
Right,
go where you going.
right. And people will fall off and people will come on. And then some people, it's different seasons for it.
Hmm.
Some type of lifetime, some is for a season, some is
Yeah.
for learning. It's all depends on
Hmm.
how you're traveling through your journey.
Hmm. And it's also recognizing, how do I keep my mind set in a positive, like for me, it's how do I keep my mind in a positive space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that's why I practice gratitude every
Mm-hmm.
day. I'm thankful,
Mm-hmm.
even in the midst of some things that I think might just like take me out. I'm thankful
Mm-hmm.
because the more you practice gratitude, the more you're able to see what it is that you actually can do and
Mm-hmm.
are capable of, right? And you keep yourself in that positive mindset, because when you don't practice gratitude, it is so easy to be like, I can't do that.
Right, right.
I don't have the ability to do that. Oh, I don't have the money to do that. I don't have the time to
Mm-hmm.
do that. I don't have the research, right? Whatever it is. Because the other thing is, when you make a decision to do something,
Mm-hmm.
that's when your mind is under attack. That's when
Mm-hmm.
all the thoughts start filtering through of the why you can't do it, why you're not able to do it, why you can't achieve it, what's going to hold you back, as opposed to thinking about, okay, this is what I envision and want to do, which is why I talk about intention a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we are intentional, when we decide what it is that we want to do and we are intentional about it, it allows us to come up with a plan and the action that we need to take in order to execute the thing that we want to do. Right? But the other thing I always say to my clients whenever we are talking about their plan is, okay, this is the plan. This is what you want to do. Now, what are the obstacles and challenges that might come in the way? Because that's the other thing that I will tell anyone that's listening will hold you back. When you create a plan, but you don't think about what the obstacles and challenges might be, when those obstacles and challenges present themselves, you stop.
Right.
As you're creating your plan, you think about what the obstacles and challenges may be, not in a negative way, not in a way to stop you from doing what you want to do, but in a way that if this happens, this is what I'll do, right? Because you have the ability to pivot, right, and move forward. And so I just think it's really, really good. Like, I love that you are like, okay, I'm driving around looking for. Right,
I do.
I'm driving around looking for it.
I'll still build it. I said, dang, is this a good place? Because I'm looking for a good place that has parking, enough, space. So, because I want women to be able to come in and all that. I got to pay for parking and all that. I want it to be stress-free. And so that's what I'm looking for.
And the other great thing is, right, and I'm gonna say this is we have a group of sisters, right, just on this platform, right, that you don't really gotta do it alone. Right. Because you have people that you can say, hey, I want you to come in and teach this workshop.
Right, exactly.
I want you to come in and do this thing, right?
And you know what? That's what it's about, because it's all going to be a volunteer, it's going to be a nonprofit. So, and I'm solicit sisters to come in and teach in life skills, because even to young girls, because I want it to be for women and girls. Yeah. And we're going to mentor our young ladies. And anyone could come. I'm not putting a color on it. It's just for women. All women are welcome,
Yeah. So we are coming up on our last 8 minutes. So I love it. I love this conversation. And what I'm actually thinking right now is, right, you just really
I know it. I can see your I know you. Your wheels are turning.
My wheels are turning. But I actually was thinking like how you just like kind of peel back on the topic, becoming someone you never imagined, because we entered this conversation talking about the fact that we have evolved into the space that we are in right now, right? Like the woman that we never imagined. And here you are imagining the woman that you're coming in the next phase, right? It's so crazy, because I was just telling someone, like, as I approach 60, right? People are like, what you doing? I'm like, really and truly, I'm trying to bring it in real quiet. Because I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm thinking, I'm not focused and obsessed about the future, but I'm like, okay, what is this next decade look like, right? And then it's great to have other sister friends that are doing their thing, because then I start thinking, okay, how can I partner or collaborate with them? Right. To support the effort that they're doing, but it also still aligns with my mission, my goal, my intention to help women grow. Right. And that's what it's about, becoming, because we're always becoming. Right. And so it's becoming someone you never imagined, but also becoming someone that you can imagine. Like, because now we're talking about becoming the women that we never imagined. But the next phase is becoming the women that we can imagine.
Right.
Because
That's
now,
true.
because of the journey that we've been on, we actually can see ourselves doing
Mm-hmm.
the things that are manifesting in our mind.
Right.
Right? Like you riding around looking at buildings.
I am. I am.
Right?
And so
Like,
now I said it. I said it out loud. So, I said it in my head. I said it to myself. I don't think I think this is the first time I said it to any, a platform or
mhm.
anybody. I wrote it in different things that I've been in. Like different groups, but
Yeah.
when we had to write and turn in our journals, only
Mhm.
our coach saw it. And I know one of my coaches that I did it for, it was like this weight loss group that I was in.
Yeah.
And we had to read journal things. And she was like, I can't wait to see all the things that you done. But the group we was in, I never said it to the group. And of
Mhm.
course she didn't say it because all our thoughts, when we had to just turn the things into her. So it's, privacy.
Mhm.
So this is first time, and I wouldn't have cared if she said it, but I just know that's how
Mhm.
the program was set up. But this is first time I said it out loud, and I feel good. So now I how do you say the word?
Manifesting.
Manifested, and so it's here. It's
And
here.
unfortunately for you, not only did you say it in this platform with people listening, but you said it to me. The wrong.
I know. I know you're gonna be sending me.
Because you know I'm gonna be like,
I saw
so,
this building over here.
so, what? How many stories you want? Do you want it to be a house? Do you want it to be like what do you? Right? So,
It's got to
but
have many rooms because I want to have it set up with many rooms. So
yeah.
I want it all one level, and you just go into rooms, and I don't know.
I mean, and the other thing is, right?
Mhm.
Just starting to think about like what it would be, right?
Mhm.
Is it a drop-in day program versus
It's
uh
going to be many things but I
overnight?
know I have to make it. It can't be everything because I have so many visions of it, so I have to make it sensible. Like
Yeah,
it has
and
got
that's
to
the
make
thing. You
sense.
have to make it sensible. You have to
Yeah,
also think about what are the different grants that you can get, right?
right. So I got
To,
to make it make
yeah,
sense. So,
yeah, make it make
so
sense. All
mhm.
right. So, in these last 3 minutes, what would you tell someone? I would say, I'm gonna say someone, but I'm gonna use it as you telling your younger self, but your younger self also is any woman right now that is listening and thinking that they can't do the thing that it is that they want to do or imagine. So, what would you tell that woman as they are becoming the thing that they don't believe or imagine they could be?
um to never stop dreaming, and
Mm-hmm.
it could happen. Write your vision down, write your plan down, um and do do the work. Pray, get out of your own way. You mainly have to do the work to get to
Mm-hmm.
where you need to be, but never stop dreaming, never give up. And a failure is a win,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to get up, and
Wow.
you'll get there. Because the
Mm-hmm.
things that we've done, the things I've done, and me being shy, I never thought I would dance in front of groups. I never thought I would travel with dance. I never thought I would write a book. I never thought I would become a coach. I never
Mm.
thought I would travel. Well, maybe that's a stretch because I love to travel, but no, I never really
No,
thought.
but you never thought you would travel in the way that you're traveling. Like you're
Right.
traveling.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just, all my nevers, I never thought, but it's coming true that I would own a building. I just,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to own this building, and I'm going to have a women's research center, resource center. And I'm going to have sisters there with me. I'm going to do my retreats. I'm going to do all the things that God have for me to do and serve the people that He have me to serve.
Mm.
You know? So.
That's good stuff. I mean, it like I don't know that I could add much more to it, right? Other than to say, like, you know, one of the most important things I heard you say is, I am going to have, I am going to do, right? I think what I would say to anybody that is out here saying, you know, and imagining the life that they could have is, one, I'm big on intention, right? But I also would say it starts with identity. It starts with knowing who you are, outside of all the labels and titles that we put on ourselves, right? So knowing who you are, believing that you are capable of doing things that someone may have planted in your head that you're not capable of doing, or you yourself have put in your head that you're not capable of doing, right? Knowing that you are capable of doing all of the things that you desire to do and that you could ever imagine. But echoing what Regina said is, it's a journey.
Right.
And it's going to take work, and it's not going to always be easy. And the closer you get to achieving what you have manifested for yourself, something is going to come. A roadblock is going to come. So knowing that you are able to pivot and push through and move past that thing that's trying to stall you is always going to be important. But most of all, I truly believe is identity. Knowing who you are outside of labels and titles, and believing that you're capable of achieving it. Knowing that failure sometimes is a win. Because if you look at failure as a lesson, it prompts you forward, right? And then I'm going to just read this quote before we sign off, which says, growth is rarely predictable, but becoming who you're meant to be is always worth the journey.
Yes.
So that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. This is a positive platform. New You Nation is a positive platform that is designed to share from real women living real lives. We are not celebrities. We are not stars. We are just sharing our experiences with the hope of helping some other women recognize that they too can have the life that they imagine and desire. So we are both on Instagram. I believe Regina is Seasoned and Fabulous.
Yep.
Right. And I am everywhere. Theodora Carter 428, Instagram, Facebook. And so if you're not following us, follow us so you can keep up on what we're doing. If you have not liked and subscribed to the New You Women, the New You Nation Network channel, please subscribe to our channel, subscribe, share, and most of all, come back next Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have another real conversation with real talk and real experiences. So thank you for joining us. Have a great night and a wonderful rest of the week. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.